Okay, so as you can see, we're all out here and everything's ready to go, and we are going to now I'm going to set off to the side one of these, and we are going to make a Halloween journal with the other one. So we're going to push that one off to the side, and let's go ahead and get started with this. All right, I'm looking at Halloween a little bit because we're getting into fall, and I figured what the heck. So this is my time lost kit. I made it last Halloween, but I never used it. So I printed some pages, and I thought it would be fun to make a creepy spooky journal. So I'm going to use these pages and make a creepy spooky journal. I'll probably end up having to print more, but for now, this is what we got. I think I'll put this on the cover. All right, so the way this goes together, this piece here is my cover. I was going to leave this as a thing that opens so that you could do something with this space in here, and then that closes down. So I'm not going to glue this down as a pocket on the front. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to figure out, oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't cut it to height. All right, so we have to cut it to height. So I need it to be, I said I was going to do 10.5, right? It doesn't need a lot taken off, but I do want to take it off because, well, I mean, for obvious reasons, an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper is not going to go 11 3/4 inches, right? Oh, the other thing you'll want to do at this point is any corners like this up here that any corners that you want rounded, you need to do that now. Or at least before you cover the page. I mean, so I'm actually going to, I should have done this before, but I didn't. I'm actually going to take that off. I'm not a huge fan of that little lip. I mean, I don't suppose it makes any difference, but I often wish it wasn't there. That didn't really cut it off. I probably should have cut it like free, but I'll just leave it for now. For now, like I'm going to come back. I have plenty of room to cut more off down there. You know what? I'm just going to do it. And then I'll round the corner. Take another 1/4 inch off. Again, these are all aesthetic choices. I don't happen to like that extra curve there. I don't know, it bugs me. So I'm just going to take that off, and then I'll round that corner. All right. Okay, so then we're going to 10.5. Okay. All right, so now all of our stuff is the right height. We round these corners on here. Okay. I don't know what other corners. Oh, we're going to need to round these corners. We'll just keep this handy in case I run into any more as I'm remembering how this goes together. Okay, so we were working on our front. And I think I'm going to make this little doorway looking portal thing the front. So it's going to go like that. All right. Let me get my glue mat, which I have buried over here. I don't want to make a mess. Okay, and let's get started. I'm going to glue this on here, and I'm going to let it go around the back. Now, I printed this on copy paper. I don't know if I'm going to, you know what? I'm just going to go to the edge. I'm going to decorate the tabs differently. So I'm just going to go to the edge And that almost covers all the way across. So I like that. Oops. Yeah, that's not. What do I do with my rag? Lost it, like I do everything else. Okay. See if you're still gonna squirt for me. You know what I should do is get a big bottle of glue. I don't want to get up again. But we'll see. I might have to if I run out. Or if my glue gets obnoxiously slow. Alright. So all around here, and I said I didn't want to do the tab, so we're not going to glue on there. I'm going to figure out a way to make that look distressy and whatnot. Okay, and then we're going to put this on here. Right up against the edge. Now, if the tab wasn't there, I would fold around the edge. I like to fold around edges to like make them finished off, sort of. So if the tab wasn't there, I would fold around it. And I can't believe I put that down there and then shifted it. Well, it's stuck now because I ran my bone folder over it. So that's that. Okay, now, obviously I've got edges to trim and corners to cut and all that sort of thing. And I will do that, but I'm not going to do that right this minute. So what I like to do is fold around. So that's going to be the front of this journal. Now I can decorate on here and I can add stuff and I can, you know, spook it up or whatever. We're going to need something inside here, and I'm thinking, maybe this. Again, I'm not going to go, I'm just going to go right up to the edge. Okay. Let's glue that down on this side. Now what you have to decide as you're doing this is whether or not you want that to go all the way across. And if I don't, I'll show you what I would do. Actually, I'll show you what I would do on this one because I don't want to, this will be a spread. So I'm probably going to do both sides the same on this one. Since when you open this up, unless I was to sew a signature in here, which, you know, these kind of journals, it's, you know, perfectly okay to put one in here, but if I was going to sew a signature in here, it wouldn't matter. I don't know if I would sew a signature in here. We're going to put that right along this edge. See if I can keep it along the edge this time. Okay. And then right up, there we go. Now, I printed this on copy paper this time because I knew I was going to be gluing it to file folder, so I wasn't worried about it being too, you know. All right, now for this one, we are going to glue this. I'm going to glue this down on this side. Okay, sorry about that. My recording cut out on me. Basically, what I decided to do was we have this piece that we did. Okay, as you can see, it wrinkled a little bit here. Ideally, this would probably go down, like I was saying, with Mod Podge, but I didn't want to wrap the same piece all the way around. So basically, I cut this off. All right, I just gave myself a little bit of a lip to fold over. And what I want to do is, before I go gluing it, I want to trim. So I've already got stuff folded over there, and I just want to trim along the top edge of the file folder and get the excess paper off of here. It's going to be tough to do where I can't see, so yeah, this is what I didn't want to have to do. I don't want to cut the file folder, and I can't see it, so a little word of advice: if you're going to do this, make sure that you trim and then glue the other side down so you don't sandwich it where you can't see it. You know what? I'm going to see if my corner around it will just yeah, that cleans it up. Put this in here. I don't know if oh, that's still, it's the shape of the file folder. All right, I'll figure that out later. Okay, so I want to leave myself this little piece of overhang. So basically, I'm going to want to fold this around here so that I have a nice clean edge along here. I like doing that. I mentioned that in one of the previous folios that we did that I covered. And, yeah. And just so you know, I'm filming this the same day I filmed part 1. So this was filmed a week ago. Well, a little over a week ago. So anything I might happen to say future on in this video might be a week old. Just saying. Maybe I'll just stick to, what do you call it? All right. Crafty talk. Okay, so this flap here is going to be inside a pocket, right? So I don't necessarily want to cover, well, I do want to cover part of it. So let's see how far, up it goes. All right, so I've got all the way to there. I'm going to put a pencil mark here because it'll be covered up by whatever paper I use to do this. I just want to know how far over I can go. And I want to see if this goes far enough, because if this goes far enough, yeah, it does. So we'll just go into the pocket with this. I like that house. I might actually pull it. Oh, I've got room. I might actually pull it back some so that we get the whole house. What do you think? I think I'll cut off at the top. So we'll do like that. I like that. You know what? Let's try this stuff. I haven't tried this. I'm gonna try it. Ooh, it's wet. Maybe I should shake it. Anybody ever use this stuff? It's very thin. This is gonna be very wet glue. Maybe I should get a paintbrush. Okay. Well, see how it goes. It's either really old. Whoa. I was kidding about the paintbrush. I don't think I'm kidding. I'm going to at least get this. It was all gloppy. I hope it's good. It's definitely wet. Well, if it works, there won't be any air bubbles. Hopefully it's not. Okay, we're going to go just a little over the line, and I want it even at the bottom. So we're going to come. Oh, it's stuck already. Oh. It grabs quick. Okay. And there we go. Ooh, I'm making a mess. I should get my glue mat back. Remember when I said I filmed these videos together? Yeah. I had put my glue mat on the floor. Alright, so we're going to go up all over this. I'm going to go up to the pencil line. Wow. Comes out fast too. Okay. I'm going to get all of this nice and flat. This is definitely a wet choice for glue. It spreads out really nice though. If you've got like a little, this is just one of those little silicone makeup things. Or, I don't know what these are actually for. I don't want a lot squeezing out over there, although I suppose I could just wipe it off. I do want a lot on the edges though. Yeah, this is definitely wet glue. So, just get this down like that. But it does what I wanted. It doesn't, there's no air bubbles. Ew. It's all over my bone folder. It's messy, but there's no air bubbles. Now, it is wet, so I don't know if I should fold this right now. But we are going to trim it. All right, we're going to trim all of our edges. I've never used this glue before, so I don't know how fast it dries. We'll try and do a fold in just a second. That was a mess. How did I do? I think I'm so worried about cutting the fold, I'm like pulling away from the... I'm scared to turn it over. This is going to be all choppy on this side. Okay, let's cut this. I think I'm having trouble cutting it because it's damp from the glue. I don't want these scissors to have glue all over them. Okay. Yeah, it's really, really wet. Just running right along. Oh, it tore right there. Yeah, it's really wet. I can't remember which way that goes. It goes this way. Okay. No, it's folding okay. Except for that spot where I tried to drag the bone folder across it and then it tore. Well, it's because there's some spots that are getting wrinkled, so I'm trying to like smoosh them down. But it did okay. All right, and then basically what happens is this goes in here and that folds up like that. Ah, it missed right there. Or did it? Oh, no, I just didn't have it all the way in. There we go. Okay, so that goes like that. All right. I like it. Okay, now we have to decide what we want to cover this pocket with. I don't know if covering it with one of these is a good idea. I think right up against the pocket like that, it might need something like this. What do you think of that up against there? As a base, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. What I could do, I could go up like that and then we decorate the edge. Can you guys guess that I really don't want to have to cut out corners? Like, dying not to have to cut these corners out. Okay, let's give this a shot. I don't know if I should use this wet stuff again. It's making me nervous. Okay. Do we like the darker? I think I'll do the lighter. I want to open this up because I don't want to make a mess of the other areas. This reminds me of that fabric fuse stuff that I was telling you that I was using the other day. I was using it the same way, except I was using it with like an actual paintbrush instead of one of these little silicone jobs. And it feels the same. It's like got a real weird feeling on my fingers, and yeah, the whole bit. All right, now I'm going to put this. No, actually, you know what? I'm going to put it on here like this. Yeah, there. Put that on there. Put my bone folder. Squish. This one wants to bubble because of all these spots from the coffee dyeing. This got coffee dyed and then baked in my oven. So it's very... like down here, it doesn't want to stick. The coffee dyed paper is very stubborn. All right, let's cut off this end. The corner rounding I have a tendency to redo with the corner rounder, so I won't cut that corner. But I am going to have to cut around that corner. And these corners. Well, that corner I won't. I should be able to use a corner rounder on that corner too. I do, however, fear that these scissors are going to get yucky. What are you going to do? All right. That's not actually glued down, but we're going to trim it anyway because I haven't decided if I'm going to glue it down yet. I have to figure out what that is. Oh, and then we have to do this. Okay, so let me... I'm sorry, I know I'm like turning off to the side over here because it's making it easier for me to do cutting. It's wanting to wrinkle because it's all wet. It's this curve, this bottom curve I'm worried about. Well, that's one way to do it, I guess. I might end up getting in there with my craft knife and seeing if I can't, like, neaten that up some, I guess. I don't know. Okay, let me see if I can get this to round. Kind of. Oh, we're having struggles right off the bat here. Okay. Now, this folds up. Oh, some of it got over there. This folds up like this. And then, you know what I want to do before I glue anything down? I want to ink this pocket edge. So this is going to be a like kind of creepy, spooky vibe, grungy maybe. I don't know. We're just going to throw it together and see how it goes, I guess. I don't know if I'll keep using this sticky finger glue for this or not. I mean, it works really good at smoothing everything down flat. It's just really, really, I mean, everything's still wet. So, all right, now what we want to do is glue this, glue the pocket onto here. And this will attach our two folders. So, come what may after this, they're all one piece. Okay, I'm just going to lift this up and stick it down. Okay, get that down over there. Go all the way down this and glue this down over here. I'm making all kinds of mess. I didn't realize this one was going to be so messy. Okay, so this goes like this. This goes back like that. And we have our, it's all put together now. Okay? So that's how that's going to sit. This is still catching on this edge. I should have cut that. I should have pulled it back further. I'm wondering if I shouldn't, like, emphasize that. Like, make it all tattered and yucky. We'll see. All right, so that's like that. And then in here, let's open that up. In here we can put, should we just stick that down? This is going to be a flap opening, I think. I don't think I'm going to glue that shut. Oh no, this is on the back of the book, right? This might get glued shut. Okay, let's just do this inside part. Do I have another house? Maybe we should bring some of the red in. So do this house. I think I'll bring it over like this. We'll glue this down and it can be like a little writing area. And I can fold around this flap, because I don't know what that's going to be yet, and whatever I use I can cover up a piece of that and it'll clean this edge up. So let's glue this down. I'm going to put the cap on that. Got a hole in it. It's kind of weird. Unless this got used. It's still kind of weird. Okay. Let's use this. This should work better. Well, it should work anyway. A little bit better. I'm going to come all the way out to the edge because I want it to lay flat. Alright. There's going to be a lot of glue squished out of this. You ready? Whoa. See what I mean? The stuff on the glue mat I can't use. But the rest of this I'll use to glue that paper down. Alright, we're going to overlap it right here. And then I'm going to go I think what I'll do is I'll make a flat spot right in here. And hopefully that will take care of buckling along the fold. I don't know if it will, but I'm hoping. Alright, so put that down on there. There's no place for the excess glue to go, so I'm going to try and push it over this way. So go this way with it. Do want to make sure that edge is down, so alright, that's that. And now we're going to do this part. We'll just glue this all the way down. I'm hoping to be able to get the flappy bit in here, but it's all going to need covering, so, which is why you see me kind of, I don't want to say speeding through this, but I'm trying to kind of expedite it a little bit. I don't want time to get away from me again, but it can. I'm very good at letting time get away from me. I need to clean off my desk some. Oh no. It's going to have to get fixed in the decorating. Somehow it got put down on here crooked. Or going across the fold messed it up. I'm not sure which. Which means going around the back isn't going to really be great either. Alright, let's cut at the top. Sorry, I know. I'm down. When I was down in the basement, I kept backing up off camera. Now for some reason, I'm wandering off to the side. I think it's so that I can do the thing over my lap and let the folder hang down. I'm actually like, it's almost like the desk is in my way. Okay. Okay, now we want to fold this around here. Again, I'm just trying to clean up the edges. Although with it being short at the bottom down there, it's a little bit... I hope that you have been able to follow along and you know which pieces are going into where. If you kept your pieces from last week, then hopefully you were able to... I have two on my desk. That's why mine looks a little bit confusing. But hopefully you were able to keep yours straight since you should only have the one set. Okay. Now, again, this goes like this. This goes like this. This goes like this. And yeah, that is. It's the back of the folio. So yeah, I might actually glue that down as a pocket. So that I have a pocket on the front and a flap on the front and a pocket on the back. All right. So if I'm gluing that down as a pocket, then we need to cover just the top area up here. Do I have any scraps? Well, let's look at my desk and ask that question again. I'm going to throw some of this away to get it out of my way because it's confusing me. Nope, not that. I need that. I'm getting confused about what is necessary and what isn't. Mostly because I have two kits on my desk. What I should do, and what I should have done when I stopped, I should have cleaned up one of the kits so that I only had one kit. And hopefully that wouldn't have been as confusing, but you know, hindsight's 20/20 most of the time. All right, so that's where we are so far. And like that. Now, of course, the way I did that, the idea would be to put a signature or something in there, right? So keeping that in mind, with this flap coming open, keeping that in mind, I might not do anything here because I might want to cover that with, I don't know, some fabric or something, and then stitch my signature in, or stitch my signature in and then cover it with fabric. I don't know if I want the spine part exposed. Okay, so that's our pocket. And then we open here and we have this. And once this gets stuff in here, this will sit up like it should. All right. I almost got no air bubbles. Okay, now what I need is something along here. Actually, if I decide, let me decide what I'm putting on here. And then if I decide what I'm putting on here, it might make it easier to find paper for the tucked area. That's going to put part of a house on here. Actually, not a lot of a house. Unless I did it like this. And then I would get that part of the house. All right, let's do some testing and see what we want. I could do that. It's going to cut off the moth's wings. That's going to look funny. I could do that and have half the moth. That might not be so bad. Let's see what this one has to offer. You can have a ghost. He would be fully on there. Or we could have the mirror and the clock. They would also be fully on there. I could do this mirror. That would be fully on there. I think we're going to do this one. Okay. So basically what's going to happen here is I'm going to glue this down and we're going to cut off wherever we need to cut off. And then we're going to figure out what we want to line the pocket with. I'm going to do the tab separate. Alright, it's a lot of glue. It's always a lot of glue. Let's flatten it out this time. See if we can't do a preemptive strike on all the mess. Okay. Now I want to line this up along this edge. And maybe the bottom edge, but if I have to trim at the bottom, that's okay. We got a little bit down here, but not a lot. And then again, I can round the corner with the corner rounder, so I'm not worried about that. And then we can cut. Let's cut off this part. Hopefully nice and smooth. I think I might start measuring out my panels a little better and maybe cut pieces to fit a little better. If I'm not folding them around, then maybe cutting them to fit a little better. Although that didn't cut too bad. Okay, and we'll cut this one if I can get the folder out of my way. Okay, so that's our back pocket. Now, because we have all the color there, we can decide what we want to use for the pocket lining. And I'm thinking green, but actually I'm thinking one of these. And maybe this very first one of these. That makes it really not complicated. Okay, I only need a strip. So let's cut off just what we need. That's a novel concept. Actually, I'm going to cut about... How wide is this gap? This gap is about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. Okay, let's cut about a 2-inch piece, or at the very least 1 3/4 inches. Ooh, what about that? No, we'll use that later. 1 3/4 inches. So we'll line this up, and we'll cut ourselves a piece. And I think this will be better than trying to, just because it's so big and bulky that whenever I cut the piece and then try to cut it, I seem to make a mess. So let's avoid the mess. I'm going to keep that because I'll use it in another place. All right, and we're just going to put this on here like this. I think I just covered the wrong side of this. I think this was supposed to flip to the inside. Yep, that's why it's inked there. This was supposed to go this way. And flip open. Shoot, and I buckled all the paper. All right, we're gonna have to fix it because I actually want that to do that. I'm still gonna put this strip here. Can be part of the decorating. I'll figure it out. Still don't put it here. I want to make sure the edge is really down because this is where our little gusset pocket is. This is our gusset pocket. That's what I realized just now. I was like, wait, this is the gusset pocket. There's not supposed to be a pocket on top of the gusset pocket. So I did it inside out. Now, having said that, this is supposed to take on a semi-grungy feel. So I'm not too concerned about this. Because more than likely, to cover up that seam that I then put in here, I'm going to end up putting like some tape or something in there. Right now I'm just going to try and... I'm hoping that the glue is still wet enough on something to get that. All right, let me do this. Okay. Yes, that's how that's supposed to go. All right, and then this is where our gussets go. So let's put those in, and that'll close off this pocket. Because on this side, we only glued here and here. So the bottom is open. So if we glue this gusset thing shut, it will glue that pocket shut. So let me get my little gusset tabs, and we're going to put these, we're just going to put them down along the sides. Okay, so I'm going to put, they might interfere with a fold, so I don't know that I'm going to go all the way down, but I'm going to kind of center it. We'll see how well that works. And I also don't want it to stick out past the edge, so me and my bad eyes are going to try and line this up with the edge of the folder. Okay, just put that in there like that. Okay. And then we're going to do the other one on this side. And I'm making it so that my thing, this center fold points to the outside. Does that make sense? That's how I'm putting it. I don't know what the correct way to put these in is. I'm assuming you can do it however you want. I don't know. But that's how I'm doing it. And that certainly isn't an endorsement for correct usage. Oops, I slid it. Okay. Okay, so there my gussets are in. Now, I'm going to close this, make sure it closes. Yes, it closes. Okay, and that's going to give us a little pocket right there. Now, the question will be whether or not you want to line this. There's not enough of it showing for me to worry about that. What I think I'll do is I'll just ink. I'm just going to ink along here. Make it look grungy and yucky. And then we're just going to close this up. Oh, that was a lot of glue. Okay. I don't like getting glue on my fingers, but sometimes I think your finger is your best tool for doing this kind of stuff. All right, then we just, oops, close it up. Yuck. All right, I'm going to get in here and smush that down really good. If I had been smart, I would have put a lot of ink on those too, but, you know, I didn't think about it until just now when I looked at it and said, wow. Okay, and so we have a nice big pocket back there to stick something in. Okay, and we've got this spine in the front to make, I don't know who I'm showing that to. I'm going to lay it flat like that. But we've got that to give us a space to put some bulk in here. All right, now, one of the things I wanted to do, and you can decide this, I mean, I still have, well, no, that closes everything up. The only thing you have is this flap in the front. So everything is on the inside. So we're going to open, you can put your, you've got two places to put your flap. Originally, it was going to go here. Okay, this is where this was going to go. This is where I created the space for it when I first started this. So this is where it was going to go originally. So now that I've got the papers in here, I want to decide whether or not I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't hate it. Might actually be better if I put it in here. It might actually be better for it to flip this way. Now, when it's in here, That's going to close that way, and then this is going to close this way. So if it flips out this way, and then this flips this way, it separates this from this. So I might do that. Do you know what I forgot to do? Put the hinge, we forgot to hinge this in so that we could cover up the hinge. Either place I put it, because this was where I was going to put it. If I put it here, I was going to put it here so that it covers over this pocket. And then when you put it in here like this, and you close this with the spine, you get this kind of step down effect. So those are the two places I was thinking of putting it. Or you could create another one to go here. You could create another something to go here and create that step down effect, which I'm thinking I might do. This is probably going to get hinged right here. I would just have to decide how I want to hinge it, because I don't really want to cover up the eye. And I am going to have to do something about the hinge once I get it on here. So, well, all right, I've made myself a mess. Let's deal with it. Right, usually what I use as a hinge is a piece of file folder, because it's sturdy and it won't break with a lot of flipping and flapping. So, and I think this is too narrow to cover the back of here. Yeah, it is. Okay, the other thing I have to be concerned about is whatever I cover the back of this with, it needs to go with that. So I can either do that. Oh, you know what? I might just do this. Yeah, I might just do that. Okay, so if I'm going to do that, then I'm okay with about... Let me see how wide I want to make my... Not more than 1/2 inch. I don't want more than 1/2 inch. So I'm going to get this piece right here. It doesn't have to go the whole length of the thing. I'm going to cut that off because it's just in the way. And I'm going to see if folding this in half will work. Is that enough? That's too much. So basically what I need to do is I'm going to cut this in half. See, I'm fixing little faux pas as I go. Yeah, if you have any pieces like this where you're going to have a hinge that you want covered up, you'd probably be good to glue the hinge piece down before you glue your decorative paper or whatever down, so that your hinges get covered. So, yeah. You know, best laid plans and all that. Okay. So I'm just going to put that right up to the edge of my envelope piece. I don't want to confuse it with any other flaps, so let's get that out of the way. Okay. And I'm going to just get this to stay down, all that excess glue. Because Lord knows I'm the queen of excess glue tonight. All right. And then basically I said I was going to put this on here, right? And we're going to cover the hinge with it. So let's do that. And that way this back part will be all done. And it can be... I mean, this paper was like I dyed it and crumpled it and abused it. And so it's kind of soft. But once you glue it down on here, you can probably write on it. I don't know that I would try and use a ballpoint pen on it, just because I would be afraid that it would catch and tear. But maybe once it's glued down and smoothed out, that won't be a problem. I would be a little bit worried about that, though. All right, so we're going to get this piece of paper on here. Let's see what we've been doing. All right. Well, I mean, if I haven't confused you too much at this point, then hopefully you know how all the pieces go together, which was my goal for this one. Other than that, this can be part of a picker project. Because remember, I'm kind of bringing that series back, and we're just going to work on whatever brainchild project I happen to be working on at the time that I pick up or I turn on the camera and say, "Hi guys." Don't get glue on your other flap. Okay, so that's all glued. Now what you could do if you wanted the edges to look decorative or whatever, I suppose you could round corners or like that, but I'm not wanting it to necessarily look too decorative. Also, this part where it's too tall, I'm going to leave that. So that when I glue it down in the hinge, it goes almost to the top and bottom. So I guess it really wouldn't matter. What am I looking at here? That envelope overhangs a little bit. I don't want to cut it off, so I'm going to cut around it slightly. Oh, I'm going to cut the bottom of that envelope open. Which isn't a big deal if you want it to be a pocket, but I don't want it to be a pocket on that side. That's its hinge side, I think. Pretty sure. Yeah, that's the hinge side. Alright, and we got stuff sticking up over here. Let's get that down. Okay, and we'll put this down in here. And then it can get further decorated. And then when I do like I said, when I decorate and we grunge it up and make it look messy and nasty, we'll try and get some of these edges, especially these really straight ones. All right, and this isn't exact. I'm gonna tuck this into this edge, into this hinge spot. Oh, nope, I can't do that yet. Please don't come off. I need you to stay. Where's my... I just want it to stay put. Alright. Now. This folds in. This folds over. Alright. So when this opens, this flips. This flips. These flip. I probably should have decorated this before I glued it in, but it's just going to be another trial tribulation that I'm going to have to suffer through. Okay, so all right, I'm going to let you go. We still have lots of work to do on this one. The idea behind this would be to glue this on here a little lower than the other one. You could glue it in at the top, or you could take it and glue it in someplace else entirely, or not glue it in at all. I mean, obviously, your journal is yours, and you do it the way you like it. I will probably glue this on and cover up some of this journal space. There might even end up being a pocket or something down here. But that's where we are so far. So we have this flap opens up. you have a spine area here and a big pocket. Lots of nice space. And then you open this up and you've got a flap that opens here and this little thing that opens with a flap and these envelopes. Okay. And then you close this and you bring it to the back and you've got this nice big gusset pocket back here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this so far. If you want to see how this comes along, like I said, watch for it to show up on the Pick a Project list. I probably will not bring it back to Making From My Mess. The next Making From My Mess will be a new file folder folio. Some more glue I wasted. And I'm going to call it there, and I will see you guys with my next mess. Bye-bye.